Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Hey, welcome to the Show Banff Show. I am Sage and I am here with Happy. He has so many different skills and I'm so excited to learn from him today. And here on the Show Banff Show, we celebrate mental health, what people are up to, startup culture, and it's really, really cool. So Happy, are you ready to take it away?
Absolutely.
Yes! So Happy, what kind of music do you make? Like you do psychology, you're saying, music, books, all sorts of stuff. Let's get into your music, or how did this even start? What got you into music?
You know what? The whole thing is it all started with mental health, if we're actually talking about that. Because when I started struggling with my own self, that's when I started realizing that finding an outlet to channel all those energies that you don't know where to place, and you know that the people in your life can't handle them as well, right? It's kind of like uncomfortable putting out the energies you're struggling with. And finding art or music to try to channel those is why I turned to music at a young age and started performing music for basically my entire life.
Wow, that is incredible. And where can people find your music?
Well, you can find me anywhere, really. Just you can Google Fonz Fonzdot, and it'll take you to all my links in Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube or whatever. I don't know. I know the distributor handles that thing.
That is so cool. And one thing I love about you is you play on the spot. You just make it how you're feeling. Like you don't plan it out, you just go for it. And what's your experience been with that? Because you don't perform anymore. You're all online and like just have fun with it.
Yeah, so I channeled my energies a little bit different than I used to when I was making more folk music. And instead of trying to sit down and write songs, I embraced the fact that I love to freestyle songs or just take songs off the top and go with the flow, essentially. Let whatever I'm feeling at the moment really just like capture that feeling in a song. And so I really have embraced this by turning to hip hop, and I actually coming out of my shell, realizing that I was doing hip hop for a long time, but not being like super comfortable in that sense, not like owning exactly the type of music I was doing.
Yes.
So moving into that, I've just been able to essentially go with the flow so much, and these lyrics just come out with me because I actually speak and talk the way that I want to speak or tell the story that I need to speak. So it's such a smoother way of writing music versus trying to like write like a catchy song.
That's amazing. And you said you don't want to be famous. That's why you're helping other artists. You want to just be more there, share what you're feeling. And can you expand on that?
Oh man, helping other artists. I don't know about that too much. The biggest thing is like I don't do it for the fame. Like there's a specific game that's in a lot of music, especially hip hop, where people are trying to like really like build an identity and push, huge success. Like they have some goal in the end that they're gonna get somewhere and be famous, or have some like success with it. Where my goals occurred. I'm writing music right now because I enjoy making that music right now. Like I'm not doing it to get famous. I think it would be a burden if that ever happened. I just want to have the freedom to put out whatever kind of music I want to try to share whatever feeling or message, and not really have any judgment. I don't even care if fans listen to it because I can do what I want. It's nice.
And the best part is for you, and people know you're genuine when you make it. You're not just trying to like get like snag what's popular. You're doing it for like your hands down, like just down to earth. And that's what I love about you, honestly.
Well, thanks. The thing I noticed recently with some of the bigger artists, and I'm really blessed, honestly, because some of the people I work with are really special artists, and through their connections and through what they're saying and through some of their lyrics, I'm realizing that a lot of the people putting music out right now, whether it's hip hop or rock or anything, any genre, they're being extremely fake about it. They're trying to put out, images, they're saying lyrics about things they've never been involved in and trying to bring them some sort of hype, where I feel like that's the complete opposite of why I do hip hop. Like I write because I'm writing things that I am experiencing on the inside that I feel like I need to express. It's a way for me to get these energies out. Being hypey and flashy, or hey, look at my brand name clothes.
Yeah, look at my clothes.
You know
like,
what I
look
mean?
at
Like that's not why I make music. You know, I don't listen to a lot of music except for unless the lyrics are good, and that's something I don't even see I get. You know, that whole image thing.
That's amazing. And some of the lessons you learned through psychology and the book you're writing, has that influenced your music at all?
Okay, yeah, so the psychology and the book thing. Of course, you know, my music actually now, I would have to say, is directly in relation to that. When I finished my degree, I actually wrapped up all my physics and math courses before I was done and started really just pouring into philosophy and a couple of psychology kind of style courses.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and then so I just kept going into that from there, and being on top of my own mental health and being really aware of what was going on my insides, and how, and really wanting to step forward so I could build on that and grow as a person. That research and overactive brain, overthinking, right, has led me into reading Carl Jung and his Red Book and a lot of other high-end psychology books, or books I would have thought were taboo before. You know, like, oh, that's about meditation or whatever, and I would never get into it.
Yeah.
And looking into Eastern philosophies and being able to see how modern day Western psychology ties into this has just completely changed the way I look at the world and how I view myself, and how there's a baseline of love now. And I just want to share this with everyone. And I write books on spiritual awakenings and the experiences I've had through dreaming and recording my dreams, essentially. And that's what I like to write about. And it's just the same thing. It's all outlets. But by studying people who have looked at this before, it actually gives a little bit of credibility to it. And in the hip-hop culture, it's a whole community of people who have like figured this out, whether they have the schooling or not, whether they're an academic, whether they've come from a really low place or a really high place in life. People in the hip-hop culture write lyrics to spread this conscious awakening, change of thinking that occurs in life if you really face some hardships. And that's why I guess it's all happening right now in my life.
That's incredible. And I love how you're doing that. Like, dream psychology is so fascinating, like all the different things. I love how you're not just exploring one that matches your needs, but you're expanding out and seeing what other people do, even if you don't believe in it. Like, that is really cool.
That,
like,
you just said it right there. Like, having an open mind to read books that are taboo, to talk to people who have completely opposite beliefs than me. Like, I grew up Christian. I am from Métis background, and what's going on now is obviously hard. My family is definitely, you know, affected by this, but it's like when you're looking at the big picture of things, it's like without having the open mind to read people who have completely opposite viewpoints of me and try to think psychologically about how they were thinking when they wrote it and whatnot, I would have never been able to see the big picture of life and be able to be so accepting of everyone. Like, I had a very different view in life before, you know, obviously I started doing some like looking inside and changing how I, you know, view myself.
That is incredible. And I love how you took that time to better yourself too. And like, have you ever found like your like, for example, the Christian side and then the Métis side is clashing, or like how, or have they influenced your music at all? Or like, it's a heavy topic. It's up to you if you want to talk about
you know
it.
What? Like they do clash, you know, and like that's the biggest thing. It's a really hard thing to talk about when it comes to people who follow like a triune God or a Holy Trinity versus people who are more pagan based and follow like the nature. I feel like I've studied both aspects and I've done lookings on the inside in both aspects, and I'm caught in the middle. And
yeah,
that's why I feel now moving forwards, I've accepted I'm in the middle. You know, it's like we're, as humans, we're all the same and we all have our own struggles. And because we're all just stuck in the middle, you can't really give anything else other than love and understanding. You know, you're getting upset or frustrated or anything, you got to look at yourself, because we are all kind of just stuck right here. And then that's how it's. I mean, it's the whole change of perspective, right? Like,
It's so true in mindset. Like, even instead of judging each other, it's better to like turn inside. Like, what's making me upset today? What's making me snappy? Like, exactly. And because we're running out of time here, is there anything you want to tell your audience before we go? Like anything about the book you're writing, the music, anything?
well, I just want to actually give thanks to John Doe, really especially Luke Thornton, and also Matt Somerville. Like those three guys, at the moment, what they've been doing has been absolutely so supportive when it comes to me having the support, like, I guess, I don't want to say like help, but I mean like mental safety to be able to put out the music that I have. And my buddy Zach, Honeybeats, I just got to give a huge shout out to him, because I mean that guy and his family and stuff, he is one of the most important characters that I've ever had in my life when it comes to being able to share my music and put out the words I want to share. And I mean, like, I can't give any credit to myself. Like, it's just everyone in the community has helped me so much being able to do anything I'm doing right now.
Wow, like don't stop sharing your love, sharing your music, and honestly, you're an amazing person. Like keep doing what you're doing, honestly.
I'm just here to climb mountains and have fun.
Oh my gosh, yes! That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for driving all the way from Canmore, like for this interview, and we can't thank you enough.
I had to do some stuff anyways, and Banff's right around the corner. It's basically home.
Yes! That is amazing. Thank you.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Expanding our community.